Hello and welcome to Viewpoint on Ukraine today, where we are joined by Mr. Viktor Hetmanczuk, the President and the CEO of the Canada-Ukraine Foundation and a member of the National Board of Directors of the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress. Viktor, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
So you have recently arrived in Kiev. You have come over with a team of medical professionals. Now, this is not the first time you have been here with this team, I understand.
That is correct.
So this is the
fourth mission.
Fourth time. Can you tell us, how did this start?
It started 2 years ago, a week after the shootings on the Maidan.
This was
here.
February 2014,
yep.
Yes?
I came here with the Canadian government mission to be introduced to the transitional government. So while we were here, we started to investigate what could Canada and the Ukrainian diaspora do for the Ukrainians. And we saw all the wounded people from the Maidan. We couldn't do anything for the ones that were shot. But we saw the sniper bullets hitting people in the eye. And so we brought in April a team of doctors to evaluate what the needs were and what could the community in Canada do for it. And out of that mission, we decided that we had the expertise to come in and help them do craniofacial reconstruction and micro-arm damages. So the first two missions that we did in 2014 and 2015 were funded by the Ukrainian-Canadian Diaspora through fundraising. Okay. I believe because we were so successful, we then applied to the Canadian government through the START program to build the capacity of the Ukrainian military hospital system to carry on with these operations, because we had a certain set of tools and procedures which were not being used right now in Ukraine. So we're quite pleased that we've been able to come here 4 times, and this is the end of what I would call these large 20 to 22 person teams.
Okay. So you say that the first 2 times, the first 2 missions were funded purely by the Ukrainian diaspora based in Canada.
Yep.
Do you know how big is that diaspora?
Well, we're quite amazed that about 1.3 million people are standing up and saying we have some Ukrainian roots.
Okay.
And this is based on our census data. So it's quite significant.
Okay. And following the success, the Canadian government then wanted to get involved and wanted to help support Ukraine.
I missed that.
Following the success of the first 2 missions to Kiev, the Canadian government then wanted to get involved and also assist in the project.
Yes, we went and looked to see what was available in the different funding envelopes. Okay. And we put in an application, and we were successful to win the trust of the government that we could actually do this.
Okay, so you said that you are now drawing towards the end of what you wanted to achieve in this project in the military medical industry in Ukraine. What can you say that you have achieved in these last 4 trips to Ukraine, where you are now at a point where you have achieved what you wanted to at the start?
I believe what we've done now with this latest mission, when we delivered about $500,000 worth of equipment, we've actually created a center of excellence here in Kyiv at the military hospital. So all the badly wounded cases can now be funneled into Kyiv, and the doctors have been trained to using our new equipment, and we have no misgivings that the quality of care will carry on. And we've noticed that the difficulty of operations they do is now increased. So we know we've passed on the operation.
Okay, so it's not you are just coming here, your team, you are just simply performing.
No.
You are providing equipment, and you're also training the staff here in Kiev how to use the equipment.
Yeah. We're here as a master class, and from all over Ukraine, physicians of the military system are coming to observe and learn the techniques.
And then they are taking this skill and
back
this knowledge
to the field. Yes.
And you would say you have built a centre of excellence. You would say that is the level of skill you have managed to build here in Ukraine. Yep. Can we talk about the operations which have been conducted under the watch of your organisation? How many have been achieved over the last 4 visits? Well,
the first 3, we handled 100 patients. I believe we did 183 operations or discrete. We interviewed over 250 patients, and we can't take everybody because we're only here for a week. We can only do certain things, so unfortunately, not everybody was satisfied. However, by leaving them the equipment and doing the training, these people could come back and get work done by the Ukrainian doctors.
Okay. Okay.
We're fully confident that that's going to happen.
So you recently, earlier you mentioned that you focus particularly on craniofacial and facial injuries and also injuries to the hand. Yep. Why was it that you selected these particular injuries to focus on?
Well, that was the volunteers we found in Canada who were willing to step up and help out. It was only strictly the ones that said, hey, I want to help. And they were the group. And so we just picked on it. There was no particular, other than the fact that when we were here at the Maidan, just the shooting of the protesters drove us towards how can we help fix the craniofacial, the jaws, the eyes, and the skulls. Okay,
so you found these were a priority because they were commonly occurring injuries. Would I be right in saying these are injuries that doctors would not come across every day in Canada? Or
Absolutely.
Very rarely, I would think.
That's right. We don't have a war situation, so therefore they weren't used to high-velocity, high-energy wounds. So they're also learning, and they're applying their techniques to solving the patient's issues.
So how did the medical team from Canada react when they saw some of these injuries?
Oh, it's on a personal level. You interview them. They have really, grown emotionally that we're actually helping people. It's psychologically we're rebuilding the individual, but we're also rebuilding his family. We're building his network of friends. Okay. And it's important that we in the diaspora give the wounded here a sense that somebody cares about you, that somebody is really ready to come here and help you if we can, and if we're allowed to come.
Okay. So on the first 3 trips, you helped around 100 patients. Yep. You're here for the next few days. What do you hope to achieve within this trip in these days that you are here now?
We're hoping to see at least another 40 patients, and I don't know, because every time you open up the patient, it could be one procedure, but you'll find something else inside. So we'll give you a final report on Friday as to what the final count was.
Okay, so you're hoping to about 40 patients that you're able to help on this trip to Ukraine. What is next? If you say you have now drawing to the end of this particular project, what is next for your foundation here in Ukraine?
Well, we're going to step back and evaluate what the outcomes were of these large missions of helping craniofacial. And is there another model which will only bring over, say, 3 to 5 doctors and nurses? Okay. And then we can go to the smaller centers. We're going to evaluate how is the knowledge transfer from Kyiv, say, to Lviv, to Dnipropetrovsk, to other cities,
away from the capital.
And then can we bring in these smaller teams for a week at a time and maybe only handle their extreme cases on a consulting kind of masterclass basis? So we do more than just the military side.
Okay.
Okay. When we were here on the 3rd mission, we were challenged with Mykola, the 3 amputee boy that got blown up and has lost his brother in Mariupol there. So he is now in Canada at the Shriners Hospital in Montreal. Okay. He'll be there for 6 months, and he'll come back to Ukraine. But we're preparing to keep working with him for the next 10 years.
Okay, so it's not just the 6 months.
Not just the 6 months. We've made a commitment with Shriners that until he becomes an adult, we're prepared to help him with all his prosthesis and all his, he has an eye problem, he has an ear problem. Like, it's just a miracle that when I see him, these actually survived that catastrophe.
Okay, so there is a lot more to come.
Yes, there's a lot more to come. Okay.
Well, Victor, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
It was our pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You have been watching Viewpoint on Ukraine Today, where we have been joined by Mr. Victor Hetmanczuk, the President and CEO of the Canada-Ukraine Foundation and a member of the National Board of Directors of the Ukrainian Canadian Congress. Thank you for watching.